based on the title of this video, just want to go ahead and put a disclaimer out there. I am not a veterinarian at all. I am not a dog nutritionist at all, or any other form of expert with a medical background in chemical or nutritional, physiological, or any other call that could be encompassed in this video. So not a veterinarian, although I play one in real life MTV. Name that movie quote. It's actually a TV show. All right, so based on this title, is peanut butter good for your dog? I'll tell you why, because here's story time. Gather around a campfire. But if you've gotten past all that gibberish right now, you know I'm Steven Jankovic with Strong Dog. So here's kind of what happened last week and why you haven't heard or seen any new updates or anything like that. Last 2 Fridays ago, I went out to a hockey game. Cool game. It's been years since I've been to one. So anyways, went out. Everything was fine. So as I left, I gave Arya a treat. Typical, like I usually do, is kind of like one of these bones that have, you know, kind of some flavor packed into them. But as she gnaws through them, I end up, you know, filling them with peanut butter or Greek yogurt, and I freeze them. And this way she can have them as a treat while I'm away. Just gives her something to do, occupies her time with, and she gets a little bit more sustenance because I always need to find ways to pump up her weight just to keep her, you know, keep the muscle there because of all the activity we do. The calories aren't going to hurt her. So anyways, with that mind frame, with that mindset, now you understand. When I went out, I packed this bitch full of peanut butter. Probably more so than I usually do. I come back from said hockey game, take her out, everything's cool. Throughout the night, kind of whines a little bit, so I'm like, all right, we'll go out. It's not often that's been happening lately, but whatever. We go out. She's got the runs. Not just the runs. If it was like she farted to blow out a gas pocket. And then it was the River Wild after that. All right. That was like around 2 a.m. Go back to sleep. 30 minutes later, hour later, same deal. Go back outside. Kind of what happened the first time happened the second time. Okay. Then finally, I'm like, all right, just trying to get some sleep. She had one more time to go outside, whatever. I go to work on Saturday morning now. I get back probably 11 o'clock. And I tell you all this so you have all the information. So nothing changed in our day-to-day life. But when I came back on that Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, this imagery that I can only describe, and I've told this story countless times by now. So, you know, when I saw her in her crate, not only earlier that week did I buy her a new bed, which she destroyed naturally within 2 days, but that Saturday, when I walked in, the potent smell of feces was death-defying. It was gagging bad. But the imagery that I saw her in her crate was like Rose in the Titanic, when at the end she's on that fucking floorboard, that door frame, kicking jacks off, you know, into the water, trying to stay warm and out of the water. That was her. But instead of ice cold Atlantic water, this was a mudslide. Just diarrhea everywhere. So I'm thinking, fuck. All right, we got to clean it up. There's nothing we can do. It's not her fault. Kept calm, cool, calm and collected. Okay. Rest of Saturday, she was fine. Gave her some rice. Chilled out. Ended up going out that night. Same deal. Came back. She was cool. Sunday, spent the whole day with her. We did our 2.5 mile run. She was fine. Seemed like everything was getting back on track. It was just maybe a one-off. Okay. That Sunday ended up going to Halloween Horror Nights. Get back by 1:30. As soon as I walked through that door, again, got hit in the face with that potent smell of just shit everywhere. So, nothing you can do, gotta clean it up. This time or another, it was a mistake on my part. Again, these are all just learning mistakes. So, if anything other than like, you know, hearing the grotesqueness of these detailed stories, take the lessons in it as well. So when this shit happens, literally shit happen, get her on a leash, get your dog on a leash, because this one I did not. And she's covered in this shit and wanted to run around the apartment getting everything covered in shit. Okay. This one I lost my temper a little bit, because not only that, she didn't have a bed liner, she just had the crate liner, but not a bed liner. So this one with the plastic underneath, the projectile, the splash was greater and wider. Okay, so I had a little bit more cleaning to do. So lifting up the tray, getting it through the doorways, into the shower, washing it off, trying to clean up the floors. Got her already showered, told her to come with me, go to place. Rather than that, she went back into said shower that the floors is just covered in shit still, and sat in it. So again, had to wash her a second time, and that's where I really lost my temper on her, because I can get over the fact of her having the runs, accidents happen. You own a dog long enough, it's going to happen, it's natural. But not coming with me when I told her to, that's unacceptable. So after that, that was Sunday morning, took Monday off, just stayed with her. Again, then we went back to the plain old chicken and rice diet. Okay, still off. She wanted to go outside every hour on the hour for the Monday through at least Thursday. Almost every night was hour on the hour. Near the end, it started going like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But her stool outside was, again, hit or miss. And lately, she started not drinking a whole lot of water near the end of the week. Why do I tell you this whole story? Go back to the title, because I want you to have all the information that you can deduce, you know, what happened. You know, was it something she ate? Was she eating grass? No, she wasn't eating grass. She was eating grass after the fact, not before. That Friday of what had happened was actually the day I did that mock BH trial, where the one she ran off on. And she knew I was pissed the rest of the day. Then, you know, as we were to get over that pissed offness, packed this sumbitch full of peanut butter. And I honestly think, again, if anyone's a veterinarian, if anyone has any medical training, if anyone has any nutritional training for dogs, share a comment, inform us. But I think the peanut butter was just way too rich for her blood, and it fucked her lining up majorly. So much so, like I said, she wasn't really eating, she wasn't really drinking. She wanted to get up. I think there was a little anxiety from being inside the crate as well. Again, when you're in the crate for a few hours and you're happen to be sitting in your own feces, it's going to fuck you up. You know, dog or person, it's going to fuck you up. So that week was just kind of reconditioning her to not just a crate. I kind of just left it blank, like no treats or anything. The only thing I did do was in the chicken and rice. And pumpkin. I added pumpkin. Start adding pumpkin if your dog's stomach is fucked up. And because she wasn't drinking enough water, even after doing our regular walks, it was cooler last week here in Orlando. So, you know, I do give her some grace for that, but still not drinking enough water as I thought. I added water to her food as well. So this way she can at least hydrate while she eats, and hopefully not get her constipated as well. So hopefully, again, the idea was the pumpkin settle the stomach, but also tighten her up. Chicken and rice just for some sustenance to calm her stomach down. But I fed her in her crate those meals. Not only that, I think I mentioned in another video, but if I didn't, I switched a few weeks ago. Before this, it would have been like maybe 3 weeks ago. Rather than doing 2 meals, morning and night, I was doing one big one, training one, and then the kibble one at night. So before people start thinking or saying, hey, your dog was eating too fast or anything else, no, her stomach and her routine was pretty much set with that. The other thing was that could be a factor was, again, just me being a dick. So again, it was just the anxiety. And then I left. But I still think it was the peanut butter. Just way too much fat and sugar. Even though it's organic, who cares? Just fucked her lining up. But with these stories and notes, and yes, I thought about going to the vet, which you probably should have done. Again, if you are never certain or sure if your dog's showing any signs that, you know, there may be a health problem, there might be, you know, they're a little lethargic, they're not eating, they're not peeing or pooping regularly, they're not drinking water, go see your vet. Okay, it's just the fact that matter is, had dogs for, you know, a few solid years now, so rather than spending $400 or $500, figured let me just wait a week and see how she does. Again, if you want to give her a treat, and if you do peanut butter, not that peanut butter is bad, I would just recommend less than what you think. You know, maybe a tablespoon and that should be it. But like I said, it was a bogey on my part, a double bogey. I packed this fucker in with so much both sides that I just think it was too much. So is peanut butter bad for your dogs? Just like anything, moderation is key. No, if it's low. Yes, if it's way too much. And what could happen? Fucks their GI tract up immensely. And next thing you know, they got the runs. And it could happen at the worst possible timing. So my note to you would be mindful, moderation. Less is probably more if you're doing peanut butter. So we're kind of back to normal. Yesterday I started doing her raw food, and then especially we went to Lake Eola yesterday, did her raw food for training and obedience, walked around for a few hours, came back home. Then she had the kibble, which again I still added water and I still added pumpkin, but no treats, no peanut butter, obviously. If anything, I might go back to doing plain old Greek yogurt for a treat. So yeah, that was my story of my week, was worried about her and, you know, not making excuses. It was all me. I gave her way too much peanut butter. So be mindful if you're doing treats. Be mindful if you're doing peanut butters. Interesting fact, though, again, if you're a nutritionist, please leave a comment. You know, share your experience with us. One thing I did notice, though, two things now that I'm thinking about it, because I'll just go on a full-on rant now, is I do add olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, into her kibble when we do into raw food, into when we're doing our training, because it's actually, from what I gathered, really good for their body, but also their fur. And by switching over to the chicken and rice, for the first couple of days she was fine, but as I noticed, she was losing a lot more, she was shedding a lot more than she ever had been when I was doing her regular diet, her consistent diet. So it was just interesting, you know, it's again, take pros and cons here. Yes, it settles her stomach, but she's shedding a lot more. But knowing it's going to just be short term, just get over that fact. So that is it. That was my week, was cleaning up her shit, making sure she doesn't die on me. And, you know, oddly enough, though, because of how she was feeling, she was actually very cuddly and very calm, and we actually were able to watch quite a bit of television on the couch because we also didn't train. All we did was walk and hung out. So that was my week, hopefully getting back to a regular scheduled program. And with that, you can see her. She's fine and doing well. A little skinny, you can start seeing her muscles again, but a few refeed days and she'll plump right back up. So that's it. Talk to you next time. Keep training your dog. Got any questions, comments, concerns? Leave them in the comments. Talk to you next time. Peace.